Greetings, comrades. The purpose of a ledger reconstruction is to calculate a mystery figure. This relates to the Unit 4 budgeting topic, which is part of Area Study 2. And so therefore you'll be issued some financial information forecasted for a reporting period coming up. So it could be a quarter, half year, a year, or even a month. And so therefore we've got to basically calculate amounts that might impact the budgeted cash flow, the budgeted income statement, or the budgeted balance sheet. Now, when we reconstruct an inventory ledger, this is assessing, testing your understanding of the rules of double entry accounting. And so therefore your starting point for this is, are you reconstructing an asset or a liability account? Because we don't reconstruct revenue and expense items. They're closed off. They're closed off to the profit and loss summary. So when you're doing a ledger reconstruction, it will relate to an asset, liability, or possibly a capital ledger for OE. So in this practical example, we're going to reconstruct the inventory ledger using the information here so that we can determine the credit purchases. So the first thing we're going to put in is our open balance for inventory, 20k. So you'll need to get that from the balance sheet at the end of the previous reporting period. So that's going to go on the debit side of our asset account, 20,000. And let's make sure we put in our dates, 1st of Jan 26. So now we work through this additional information, and again, the rules of double entry come into play here. Anything that will increase the balance of our inventory, which is an asset, will be a debit entry, and it's important that we get our cross-referencing correct. Anything that decreases our inventory, which again is an asset, will be a credit entry. So the first point says all purchases and sales of inventory is on credit. And as it says at the bottom end of the question here, we are trying to work out our credit purchases. Now there's no such ledger as credit purchases, so our entry here will be accounts payable. That's who we're buying the inventory off. This is our mystery figure, so I'm just going to leave that without a number. That's what we're going to calculate via this reconstruction process. Then we've got some information on sales and sales returns. This is a trap because these are at the sale price, of course, so we need to know our markup, and it says here our markup is 50%. So with that in mind, let's work out our cost price effect of these credit sales. The GST is not relevant here. So it's going to decrease our balance of inventory when we sell inventory to our customers. So this will impact our cost of sales. And using the magic of Excel, let's work out the value. So we type in equals, open brackets, put in your sale price, or we don't need a bracket, 6,000. And we're just going to divide that by 1 plus your markup percentage converted to a decimal. So 1 plus your markup as a decimal, 50% is 0.5. So if we divide this by 1.5, we get 4k. 4k, 50% of that is 2,000. So we're marking it up by 2,000. That gets you back to your sale price. Now the sales returns, this is also going to impact inventory, obviously, because the inventory is coming back into the business. Again, we need to apply that 50% markup. So this is actually going to increase our inventory. So we need to record this at the cost price. So we go over to the debit side of our ledger, type in cost of sales, and again, same principle as before. We're going to divide the sale price effect, 600, and then we're going to divide that by 1.5, the 0.5 being the markup, gets you 400. Then we get to an inventory gain. So we've gained an inventory because according to our stock take figure, we've got a higher count than it says in our inventory card because we've been oversupplied on delivery, or possibly we've undersupplied a customer, resulting in that recording error. So an inventory gain is going to increase our balance, so that's going to be a debit entry, and there is an account called inventory gain. It goes between the gross profit and our adjusted GP in our income statement. The opposite's the case with an inventory write-down. So this is where the lower of cost or NRV rules come into play. So this reduces our balance in our inventories. So we're going to record that as a credit entry. Inventory write-down for 400. Then we get to a donation of inventory to an approved charity. So there's no such account as donations in the VCE course, so we record this as advertising. Be careful again with ones like this because it's giving us the sale price. So therefore we need to work back to that 50% markup. So this is going to reduce our inventory balance. We're going to cross-reference this with advertising, which will be an expense in our income statement. And we're going to go 1200, and we're going to divide that by 1.5 to factor in that markup, $800 cost price effect. Drawings 3,000, 1/3 cash, we can ignore that. 2/3 of 3,000 is 2,000, so that's going to, the owner's taken out inventory for personal use, so that's going to decrease our inventory on hand. Now, then we get to our closing balance, and we need this in order to calculate our credit purchases. So when we formally balance ledgers, assets, we put the value on the credit side so we can carry it forward the next reporting period. So our closing balance will go on the opposite side to our opening balance, 21,700. And now we're in a position to calculate our mystery figure. So what we're going to do is we're going to total up the big side in terms of dollars. So let's just sum these credit entries. We've got 28,900. You'll need a matching total on the other side for 28,900 on the same row. That's what we need to do when we're reconstructing a ledger. And to work out our mystery figure, our credit purchases, we simply go 28,900 minus those 3 debit entries. Oops. And we've got $8,300 worth of credit purchases. That's the figure that we were trying to determine. And then, just to be thorough, we would carry forward our closing balance, which is 21,700, as it said in the question. We'd carry that forward to the next period, 1st of Jan 27. Just to highlight that we have a debit balance for our balance sheet.